Most men are waiting for a woman to say something, but she already said everything. You just didn't know how to listen. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you 3 unmistakable signs that a woman is signaling she wants to get closer to you. Not the obvious stuff, not the things every dating coach recycles from a 2009 blog post. I'm talking about the quiet signals, the ones happening beneath the surface of a normal conversation, the ones most men walk right past without ever knowing what they just missed. And at the end, I'm going to share something that will completely change the way you read women. Not just in dating, but in every room you walk into for the rest of your life. Stay with me. Because the third sign, most men actively misread it. And when they do, they push away the exact woman who was pulling them in. Here's something most people don't understand about female attraction. Women don't operate the way men do. A man decides if he's attracted to a woman almost immediately. It's visual, it's fast, it's direct. A woman's attraction is a slow build. It's layered, it's emotional. And it communicates itself not in loud declarations, but in small, almost invisible shifts in behavior. This is evolutionary. For thousands of years, women had to be subtle. Expressing desire too openly carried risk. So over time, the signals became coded. Embedded in body language, in proximity, in the tone of a voice, in the way a woman holds your gaze half a second longer than she needed to. Men who understand this code move through the world differently. They don't chase, they don't misread, they don't second-guess themselves at the worst possible moment. They simply see what's already there. The first sign is one of the most ancient signals in human behavior. She gets close to you, closer than she has to. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's obvious. But here's where most men get it wrong. They're looking for dramatic proximity. A woman leaning into their chest, a hand on their shoulder, something cinematic. But real proximity signals are subtle, almost invisible if you're not tuned in. Picture this. You're at a gathering, a small dinner party. 6 people around the table, good conversation, relaxed energy. There's a woman across from you, smart, warm, the kind of laugh that makes the room feel lighter. The night goes on, and at some point, without any big announcement, she's no longer across from you. She's beside you. Not touching, not hovering, just close. Close enough that when she reaches for her glass, her forearm grazes your arm for half a second. Close enough that when she leans in to say something, you can feel the warmth coming off her. She didn't move there for a reason she could explain. She moved there because her body was telling her to. This is called proximity seeking, and it's one of the most primal signals of interest that exists. The subconscious mind moves the body toward what it wants before the rational mind even catches up. What most men do wrong is they either don't notice it at all, or they notice it and immediately overreact. They get nervous, they get stiff, they start talking too much, filling the silence, making it awkward. What you do instead is simple. You acknowledge the closeness without commenting on it. You let yourself relax into it. You slow down. You let the moment exist. A calm, quiet comfort with her proximity is one of the most powerful responses you can have, because it communicates that you're not rattled, that you belong there, that the closeness feels natural to you too. She moved closer because something pulled her. Your job isn't to explain it. Your job is to be exactly as steady as she hoped you'd be. The second sign lives in the eyes. And this is where things change. Most people understand that eye contact signals interest. But there's a specific quality of eye contact that goes beyond normal social engagement, and once you see it, you'll never miss it again. It's not the look she gives everyone, it's longer. It's softer, and critically, it doesn't break at the moment it should. In normal social interaction, people make eye contact and then look away. It's a rhythm, a beat. Eye contact holds for a second, maybe 2. Then someone glances down or to the side, and the loop resets. But when a woman is drawn to you, that beat gets stretched. The look holds. And then, just when it should end, it doesn't. It lingers. For 1 extra moment, sometimes 2. That's not an accident. Picture this. You're talking with her. Nothing dramatic, just easy conversation about something, a trip, a movie, something you disagree about in the best way. And in the middle of a sentence, you glance at her to make your point, and her eyes are already there, waiting, holding. And for a moment, there's this thing in the air, not words, just a current running between 2 people who both feel something neither of them has named yet. She looks away first, but slowly, like pulling her attention away required effort. That's the moment most men miss. Because what happens next is what most men never notice. In the seconds after that look, she'll either smile to herself just slightly, just for a second, or she'll find a reason to look back. Because she wants to see if you noticed. What most men do wrong is they get flustered. They look away too fast. They break the moment before it fully forms. And then that current, that quiet electricity that was building just dissolves. What you do instead is hold it. Not aggressively, not with intensity. Just hold it. Let the moment complete itself. Let the silence work for you. And then, when you do speak, speak slowly. Because a man who isn't rattled by that kind of eye contact, that's rare, and she will feel it. Now here's the third sign. The one I promised you, the one most men completely misread. And the one that, once you understand it, will reframe almost everything. She creates reasons to stay in your presence that don't need to exist. The conversation ended naturally 5 minutes ago. But she's still there. She found another topic. She remembered something she wanted to ask you. She offers to help with something she didn't have to offer to help with. She's not doing this consciously. That's the key thing to understand. She's not sitting there strategizing, she's following something she feels, and that feeling is telling her not to leave yet. Now here's where most men destroy it. They get confused. Why is she still here? They start reading into it too hard. Or worse, they start wrapping things up, acting like the conversation should end, because they can't believe it's still going. They hand her an exit she didn't want. Or on the other end, they become needy. They overengage, they start performing. They make it too obvious they want her to stay, which kills the very thing that made her want to stay in the first place. Picture this. It's late in the evening, the event is winding down. People are gathering coats, saying their goodbyes. And she's standing near you, not rushing, still engaged, still asking questions, still laughing at things you say, still sharing things about herself. And then the host says something about calling it a night. And in that moment, she looks at you, not at the door. At you. That look is a question. She's asking, without asking, what happens now? What most men do in this moment is panic. They say something like, well, I should probably get going because they don't know what else to do. And she smiles and says goodnight and leaves. And the next day they think about how it could have gone differently. What you do instead is answer the question she didn't ask. Not aggressively, not with a line, just naturally. You know, there's a good place nearby if you want to keep talking. That's it. Simple. Calm. An invitation, not a demand. She was already looking for a reason to say yes. You just gave her one. Here's the truth that ties all three of these signs together. A woman who is drawn to you will rarely tell you directly. Not at first. Because for her, the feeling comes before the words. She feels it before she's decided what to do with it. And in that space between the feeling and the decision, she's sending signals. Not to test you, not to play games, but because that's how attraction communicates when it hasn't been spoken yet. The men who understand this don't chase. They don't perform. They don't try to convince anyone of anything. They simply stay present, stay calm, and let themselves be seen as exactly the kind of man who already knows how this works. And here's the thing, that awareness itself, that stillness, that ease, that's attractive. That's what she was looking for in the first place. Most men will hear everything I just said and still miss it in the moment. Not because they aren't smart enough, but because in the moment, emotion takes over and old patterns kick in. But a few men, the ones paying real attention right now, will walk into their next conversation with a woman and see it differently. They'll notice the proximity, they'll hold the gaze, they'll recognize the reason she's still standing there, and they'll know exactly what to do. If that's the kind of man you're becoming, subscribe. Every week we go deeper into the psychology of attraction, confidence, and what actually moves people. No fluff, no recycled advice, just the things most men never figure out on their own. You already know more than you did 10 minutes ago. Start there.